beautiful people, and welcome to the Dingy Diamond. I am your urban lady, Whistledown, and we are back for another trending celebrity gossip story. This time, Big Tigger and his wife, Alicia Brown, are in the hot seat. So, this drama started back on June 6th of this year, where Alicia Brown posted pictures and videos of her face. In that post, we saw a bruised face with stitches above and below one eye, and she captioned the picture, "Ask my husband what happened to me." So she left it pretty open ended. However, we can assume that something happened where her husband physically abused her, right? So, with that message, of course, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook went wild. Everyone started to assume that Big Tigger is a woman abuser. So, everything got left open ended. Big Tigger did take some absences from his job at the B103 morning show, the Big Tigger morning show, where him and co-host Francesca Amico work pretty close together. Now, I want you guys to look at this, right? Francesca was hired on May the 11th, so that was her first day working. From May 11th to June the 6th, very short period of time, there are allegations made by Alicia Brown saying that there was an affair. And if this is true, Homegirl works really fast. So we want to look into what may possibly have caused this situation to happen. Now, Big Tigger did go onto his morning show after he was released from Fulton County imprisonment, right? So they arrested Big Tigger. And just give me one moment to look. All right, so on June 20th, 2026, Big Tigger was arrested in Fulton County, Georgia, on charges of battery and third-degree cruelty to children in connection with the May incidents. And shortly after this arrest, Brown was granted a temporary protective order. And I talked about this in my other video. She was granted a temporary protective order, which means she asked for a protective order, right? The police didn't issue it. She asked for it. Okay. So again, Miss Francesca has only been employed on the show for weeks. From May the 11th, when she was employed on the show, until June the 6th, a very short period of time, allegations of an extramarital affair surfaced from Alicia Brown, which is crazy, right? So Big Tigger did go onto his morning show to make an official apology to, no, not his wife, to Francesca.
The support concerning so many people have shown. I want to say categorically, these allegations and accusations that have been circulating about me are false, untrue, not happening, didn't happen. Additionally, it's important to clarify that Francesca and I have never been anything more than friends and respected colleagues. I'd like to apologize to you, Francesca, for the impact of these last few days or this last week. I hope you accept my apology.
For her name being pulled into the drama. He doesn't actually apologize to his wife. He adamantly denies that there are any truth to the allegations, that they are completely false. And I'll just read a little bit of his statement. So over the past several days, there has been significant public discussion and speculation regarding my personal life. I understand this can happen when you are a public figure, and I appreciate the support and concern that so many people have shown. Okay. Additionally, it's important to clarify that Francesca and I have never been anything more than friends and respected colleagues, and I like to apologize for her to her for the impact of these last days. Well, that's all nice and good, but how about apologizing to your wife? And why I say you should apologize to your wife, because a TMZ video has now surfaced that does bring truth to these allegations. So this video does show a struggle happening between Big Tigger and his wife Alicia. Now, it doesn't show intent on harming her, but yes, Big Tigger does use force to pull or drag his wife to the door. And in that struggle, she inadvertently hits her head and suffers those face injuries. So, yes, there is truth to the allegations. The circumstances surrounded it, or in the court of public opinion, when we're saying that you outright hit her in the face, that's not true, nor was that said, right? The post doesn't say that, hey, he hit me in the face. He uppercutted me and I suffered these injuries. It doesn't say that. It alludes to the fact that you are the cause of the injuries. And that is true. You are the cause. Anytime you put your hands on someone and decides that you're going to use force to literally drag them somewhere, right? Because that's what he did in the video, which we will see shortly. He puts his arms around her and he literally drags her to the door and tries to get her out of the door. And she hits and she harms herself in the process. So yes, you are the cause of the injuries. That doesn't mean that you intended to do it, but there are truth to the allegations. So you want to get that clear. So people all over Twitter, all over Instagram, Facebook are saying, "Hey, she's doing this over a text message to his phone." We have to look at things from a bigger perspective, right? There is a work wife, work husband culture that has taken the world by storm, especially Atlanta. If you live in Atlanta, everybody, just about everybody, has a designated work husband or work wife, somebody who they work in close proximity to. There is a perceived intimacy when you work so close with someone.
If you're in a relationship, having a work husband or a work wife.
You know, I feel like you shouldn't do it. It's dangerous. Like, we play about it a lot, but it's dangerous. And it goes back to what I was just saying previously. You can be, and this is, I'm gonna equate it to a regular person's 8 hours. You could be around a person 8 hours a day that is not your spouse and go home and don't even get 8 minutes of quality time with your spouse. And that adds up over years and years and years and years. And so if you do not have that line and you don't keep that line, it will eat at your ability to see what's inappropriate and what's not. That person you start confiding in, telling your relationship problems to, because that's what people do at work. And then now you get a leeway in. That person gets a leeway. Like, damn, if I was, and then that's when it starts. So I would imagine most people who do have affairs, it starts with probably, don't quote me, I'm not the stat person, but I imagine a big percentage start with people that they work with.
Now, I'm a little bit confused because, again, she hasn't been working on this morning show for very long. It's been literal weeks, right? So there could have been a relationship or a respected colleague relationship that was established between Big Tigger and Francesca before she got on the show. We don't know if Big Tigger was the one who got her foot in the door to be a morning host, right? She's known as a Emmy awarded actress and journalist, right? So her making a list from being a reporter on 11 Alive to being on a morning show, that kind of sounds a little sketchy. Somebody may have gotten her foot in the door, and it could have been Big Tigger who helped her even secure the position in the first place, right? All right, short amount of time, and now an extramarital affair has been alleged. And we're looking at, a text message, just one text message is causing his wife to feel like something is going on. But we don't have the information that we need in order to say that an isolated incident like a text message. And if we want to look at it, right, for the people who are married or in a relationship, if you've ever been in one, right, if you're sharing a home with a man and you start to notice certain behaviors from him that are outside of his normal behavior, any wife is going to try to investigate to see what is going on. So this could be anything, right? So your husband is putting on some extra dabs of cologne, the good stuff that he usually doesn't put on when he was working by himself or when he didn't have a pretty co-host there, right? Your husband is spending extra time at work. He used to be home at 5 o'clock. Now he's at home at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and he's claiming that he is doing work related things. You used to be able to come up to the job and bring your husband lunch. Now he's fed and he's eating lunch with his co-host. He's not hungry no more. When your husband is at home, he has this distant look in his eyes, like he's contemplating something. He no longer looks happy. He's disinterested in time you are spending with him at home. He doesn't want to do the things that you guys used to enjoy doing together. I don't know. Even when you're having sex with him, you guys are getting intimate. He looks like he's somewhere else. So these could be other factors that we don't know about. She may come out and tell the public, hey, I noticed my husband had been very disinterested. He looks distant. He's doing these little things that he didn't do in the last couple of weeks. And I think that I'm losing him. I'm losing him. And I can't think of what else it could be but this happening. And that text message could have been one of many text messages that her husband had received, and she's watching his reaction. And this is stuff that we won't be able to see. Her sitting at home with Tigger in the basement of their house, right? And he gets a text message, and all 32 of his teeth are showing. He looks like he's about to laugh, or he's squirting milk through his nose over a work-related text message. She's calling him. He's not answering the phone for her, or he's late, unusually late in texting back. But it seems like every time his co-host is calling him, he's quick to, I have to take this call. It's business. And no business is actually being discussed, right? So there is also a clip here of Francesca coming out and claiming that she would never, right? She would never have a affair with a married man. She doesn't actually say, which we would want her to say, that there is nothing going on between me and Big Tigger, and that she's disgusted by the allegation that there is something going on. She talks about her reputation, of course, and her career, and how she was brought up to respect marriage because her parents have a long marriage, which is again blase blase blase. What I was looking at in that video is her arms. Why her arms, Urban Lady Whistledown? Her body language told a different story. It told everything I needed to know. And I'm so glad they put the video. It wasn't just a statement. There's a video of her giving this statement. And as a Emmy nominated journalist, as an Emmy nominated journalist and actress, the acting was not that good. Her arms were crossed at her torso. She was almost holding herself. It's one of those images you see when something happened and you are guilty, or you got caught doing something. Now, I don't believe a sexual relationship happened, but I believe that those text messages she was sending, or the work relationship, something was not so work oriented, right? Some of these women want to call and contact other people's husbands that they work with just to see if they will answer the phone, if they have time for them, and they put it underneath the guise of work, underneath the guise of it's business related. This is a single 36-year-old woman. She's beautiful, she's a doll, and she's accomplished, right? So those hands being crossed the way that they were, and her being in this defensive stance, it made me look twice. I had to double take, and I started to wonder, what happened? Something was happening here that was not so very innocent, right? And it's always about the intention, because some of these women, they intend to rock the boat. They intend to become a distraction outside of someone's marriage. They intend to do that. and they just hide it under the guise this is work related. If she received a text message at 10:59 p.m., that's not whatever she has to say. It has to wait until the morning, right? So it could have been a drove of text messages that her husband was receiving, his reaction, his behavior changed from normative behavior. He wasn't as available anymore. There was a distance in his eyes. He didn't seem happy at home when he received calls from her. It seems like his whole mood perked up and the fantasy has started to create in his mind. And you can't really hide these types of things. You can assure your wife that, hey, nothing is going on, but your behavior is saying that there is something happening. And instead of Alicia wanting the intimacy to deepen and for the acts to graduate into a sexual relationship, maybe she went a little crazy. Maybe she needed to see his phone at that particular time and needed to read the text messages for herself in order for her to feel secure after Big Tigger's words were not giving her the comfort she was asking for. So we don't know all of the information regarding this situation, but something was definitely going on. Alicia Brown did come out and she broke her silence. And this is her statement. She said, I ask that you be patient with me as I identify the appropriate platform and work with my legal team. She wrote before teasing what's ahead, but it's coming, right? But it's coming. So this is a woman scorn. For her to kind of walk back, posting the pictures. So I believe there is some regret that she feels about actually posting the pictures, but her emotional state is the same, right? So she does take accountability for posting the pictures, right? And she also says, I want to be clear, I've never called my husband an abuser. Social media has drawn in its own conclusions from the information that was shared, but those conclusions are not the statements I have made. And absolutely, you knew we were going to draw those conclusions as well. And the allegations being circulated about me are completely false and do not reflect who I am or how I conduct myself. The journalist said in a formal statement. This is Miss Francesca's statement. I have never had an affair or cheated with a married man. Just say Tigger, right? Just say Tigger. These allegations are false. I ain't touched Tigger. I wouldn't touch Tigger with a 10-foot pole. I stand by my character, my integrity, and the truth. So what people see as an affair is literal sexual intercourse. Now, you attempting to distract Tigger, you calling at unholy times of night. You're keeping him away from his home life, right? That could be seen as some sort of a affair and a progression of things that will lead to a sexual affair. We don't know, but I know those arms were cold shoulder quivering when she was making that statement. So something not so innocent has happened between him and her. And I'm going to keep you guys updated on any new information regarding this. So, all right, you guys, hold on to your husbands in your mind. This has been your Urban Lady Whistledown. You have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.